Hello Sagittarius, how are you guys doing today? Thank you so much for joining me on my channel here today, The Intuitive Teacup. Welcome to all you newbies and welcome back to all you beautiful subscribers. I appreciate all the love and support you've given me thus far. Sagittarians have been kicking ass and I have so much love for you guys. So today we are going to do a fun little tarot spread for you guys regarding the Scorpio full moon that is happening on May 18th, so just around the corner in a few days. So the Scorpio full moon, Scorpio is a water sign, right? So water signs are all about feeling, intuition, emotions, love. Now Scorpio is definitely a very emotional sign, but of the water signs, they tend to be a little bit more discreet with their emotions. They have a very deeper well of feelings and love, sometimes rage and jealousy, right? But that's more of a stereotype more than anything. But ultimately, that emotions, what they feel, it's kept under the surface. They are the least emotive of the water signs, if that makes sense. They don't wear their heart on their sleeve. And so because of that, there is an energy about Scorpio that is very mysterious, that is a little bit secretive. The world around them informs them on how to feel, how to react to the world around them, essentially. So Scorpio is card number 13 in the tarot deck. Which is the death card, right? So we hear death, right? And that freaks us out, but it's not a literal death. 9 times out of 10, it's not a literal death, I'll say that. It speaks about transformation, about change, about rebirth, about regeneration. It's looking at your life and understanding what isn't serving you and when it's time to move on into a new cycle and ultimately transform, change, transition. So that is what this spread is going to be about during the full moon, which is all about what we need to release. We are going to look at what do you need to release, Sagittarius, but ultimately, what do you need to transform in your life? What is keeping you held back or stuck or it could just be a dead end, right? Something that isn't progressing you forward. Let's move on. Let's welcome death. Let's embrace change so that we can transform your life into, a bigger, badder version of yourself, of what you want to do, of your path. So this is going to be a general message for all our Sagittarian friends out there. That means that not everything I say in this video is going to resonate with all you Saggies, and that's totally fine. Never force something to fit if it's not seeming like your story. That being said, sometimes it takes a few days or weeks for something to really resonate and click for you, and that's fine. That's normal. So I would say be open to listening, to welcoming in new messages and new ideas, but that doesn't mean you need to force it to fit in any way. Let it kind of flow through naturally, and if later it strikes a chord, it hits your button or whatever you want to say, good, that's fantastic, that's wonderful. And if not, drop it like it's hot. You don't need extra information that doesn't apply to you, right? So that being said, do check your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign for additional messages. If you don't know how to do that, there will be a link in the description box below. It's totally free. And in addition to that link, there's going to be all the other information you need to know about this video, including the decks I'm using, the social media channels, etc. Now I have talked your ear off. Let's get to this tarot spread, all right, Saggies? All right, so what can we get for Sagittarius for the Scorpio full moon? What needs to be transformed and released during the Scorpio full moon for our Sagittarian friends out there? All right, cool. So Scorpio also rules the house of sex, right? And I've been saying in other videos, there's this feeling of people, of the populace, the general, watchers out there, to come into their sexual power, to come into your confidence. And it has to do with emotional confidence too. So if that strikes a chord for you, Saggia, it's like embracing yourself fully and going out, looking and feeling your best on your terms for you. And there's something about that energy, it's going to radiate confidence into the universe. It's like what you put out, you get back. There's, the idea of sex and emotion and love, self-love, that's going to be important with this full moon. And so these emotions, because it is a water sign, that might be a strange energy for you to deal with, Sag, being fire. It's the opposite. So I'll be interested to see and hear how you guys are navigating that, but we will get through it together. All right, so in the you section, Sagittarius, you have the 10 of Swords. Wow, okay. Starting right off the bat with some air energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. The 10 of Swords speaks about a mental death, something that's been painful. 10 means it's been building up for quite a long time. It's become a burden to you. It's pain, and ultimately it's something that maybe you've been racking your brain trying to figure out, and it's just not working. Frequently, I see it as a card where you just have to roll over and take it. You have to roll over and die, right? So the positive thing about the Ten of Swords is that you've pretty much maxed out. You've tapped out on all the pain and anguish and sadness. It's time to like push that BS aside and move on. Okay. Interestingly enough, it comes out right next to the Nine of Swords. Okay, did I mention we're using the Zombie Tarot, which is why this card looks so ridiculous? Zombie Tarot, right? It's so appropriate for the Scorpio full moon, death, rebirth. So that's what we're doing. Now the Nine of Swords is in reverse. So in the upright is the card of anxiety, the card against swords with mental energy, putting all your capacity, your mental capacity into trying to figure out a situation, to strategize, to problem solve essentially, but it's just not coming. It's severe anxiety. It can sometimes be depression, but ultimately it's what's keeping you up at night. What are you losing sleep about? There's some sort of concern. There could be some sort of unhealthy addiction, which is not typically something I get from the Nine of Swords, but I will say that might land. If it's not for you, it could be someone in your life, and that's why you're so worried and riddled with anxiety, so to say. So with the Ten of Swords, I'm getting there was something painful, but you just want to segment it off. And I don't know, depending on your situation, I don't know if that's the healthiest way to do it. It's almost like it's easier to just segment this part of my heart that's broken and try and forget about it than to actually go into the reasoning of why that hurts, of why I need to heal because of this wound. So again, it's like you're close to being able to release it, but I do sense that maybe there's a little bit more work to be done, especially because the Nine of Swords did come out in the reverse. That could mean that the anxiety is lessening, that it is getting better. But yeah, Sagittarius, there's something here. It requires a little bit more of your focus. And I will say, this is just the you section. We haven't even gotten to your guidance or what needs to be transformed. But yeah, my heart goes out to you, Saggy. The 9 and 10 of Swords, that's some intense energy. It's some intense pain. So yeah, ooh, I feel that there. I don't think we need to clarify it because it's going to be different for everyone. We'll throw some clarifiers down here for sure. But what needs to be transformed or changed? What needs to evolve? The Six of Hazards. Okay, so Six of Hazards in this deck is the Six of Pentacles. So it talks about work, about family, career, health, the body. Yeah, absolutely. To me, this talks about healing yourself, the body, specifically the mind, right? This mental anguish and energy, that you're extending, trying to fix something, trying to solve something. What's so important about the Nine of Swords is it's giving us all this anxiety because we care so much, right? It's not a card that shows weakness at all, and I think sometimes people mistake it for that. You know, oh, sleepless nights, anxiety, insomnia. It's like somebody just wants to say, like, relax, Sagittarius. It's not that easy, right? Like, it's condescending when someone says that to you. You are up, riddled with anxiety because you care so much about whatever problem or situation or person this is. Ironically, it shows a lot of strength of character in that you're not just going to throw your hands up in the air like, well, didn't work out, whatever. You're not able to cut your losses on this yet, which is why you are in that Ten of Swords energy, Sag. You've been carrying it around for so long. Oh, I feel your pain. So if this isn't ringing true to you, this could be the person you're dealing with, right? Cross watchers, yeah. So let's see, the Six of Hazards. This speaks to me about focusing on your own mental health. There's a need to go into, it's not hermit mode, it's not saying don't socialize, but focus on you. Do some sort of tasks that get you through the day, the little things that bring you happiness. Listening to your favorite band, going to the movies and seeing the latest whatever movie by Marvel movie, I don't know. I don't know, washing your car. It's like little things, little tangible things that bring you joy, that bring you happiness, baking cookies, something like that, and not being distracted by the problem. It's something to take you out of that headspace because you're losing sleep at night. You're constantly worrying. You need to focus on little things that completely It makes the problem go away for the moment. Um, And so here's the thing, there's something about this energy, because this is what needs to transform and what needs to change. He is being distracted in this card, right? He's being distracted by this guy in a white suit, right? Probably some doctor who wants to do some medical experiment on him, right? Because he's a zombie, the poor guy, the poor Nine of Swords. He's being distracted though, and it seems kind of shisty. It seems like trickery. So I will say that I'm not necessarily saying go into hermit mode, isolate yourself, cut off your friends. I'm not saying that, but I will say there may be someone in your surroundings in your life that is not necessarily helpful to you at this time. And I think you're going to know who that is. It could be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It doesn't have to be. But yeah, it's like they're tempting you with some sort of offer, but ultimately it's not helping you. It could even be something like your mom is like, come over, I'll cook you dinner tonight. But then she asks you all about this broken relationship with an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend, and you're just like, Mom, like it's that kind of thing. It's like, that's not healthy to your mental development, to your, literally your health, to your growing, to your transforming, to moving on beyond this situation. What I want to say here too is how I'm saying you need to distract yourself from the problem. I'm not saying forget about the problem. And this is the problem, whatever this is for you, this unhealthy sword energy, this anxiety, this mental death, this battle. I'm not saying don't deal with it, because that's not good. It's like take baby steps in, it's almost like inching your way to it's gathering the strength and confidence to deal with the situation, Sagittarius. There's been a hesitancy to deal with it directly. You're staying in this what if mode, this state of fear, of consequences, of scenarios. You're living in the future, right? With anxiety, you're worrying about all the possible scenarios. It's like focus on the tangible with Pentacles, focus on the now, on the present, and ultimately, what can you do to deal with this anxiety? What can you do to fix it? And it does have to do with doing things for yourself, loving yourself, doing things that make you feel good, because isn't making you feel good. There's a need to step away from that. I'm not saying ignore it. I'm not saying forget about it. And there's something about, there is a person in your environment that is not helpful. And again, I think you guys are going to know who that is. You've got the Six of Hazards, which is the Six of Pentacles, clarified by the Six of Pentacles. So Six of Pentacles is reciprocity, get what you give, right? Balance. It could be doing acts for other people because it makes you feel good. But the thing with the Six of Pentacles, it's not done in a way where you expect something in return. Naturally, when you give of yourself, the universe gives back to you. There's a beautiful reciprocity when you love yourself, when you're at peace and balance from within. And it is shown with scales here, so obviously internal balance is what's important here. You might also be dealing with a Libra, possible. There may be an unbalance in who you're giving to or what you're giving to, how much energy you are exerting or giving to someone else who isn't giving back to you. And again, it's not that you expect that, Sagittarius. In fact, I think it's the opposite. I think you swoop in to be the hero all the time. But like, you have your own stuff going on here, clearly. So be careful who you're extending yourself to. Because, yeah, a lot of people have been getting this. It's a very common theme among all the zodiac signs. The Six of Swords, the moving on. Swords speak, again, a mental capacity. It's air signs, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Moving on with the lessons, with the information that we can learn from a scenario. And it's not that we're forgetting about them, because I said that earlier. It's not that we're forgetting. We are coping, we are healing, we are dealing with it. And those swords, we can take them with us on their boat. And yes, they are heavy, but they represent the lessons we had to learn from the circumstances, from the situations that we've been through. It's almost like wearing them as a badge of honor. It's like, see these swords? They were stuck in my back and I survived them. And yeah, they're on my ship and I'm proud of them. There's something about not being ashamed of the battles that you're facing, Sagittarius. That's really important here. And again, inner balance. See how serene and kind of beautiful, and she's in like this meditative state. She loves herself. She knows that she can take time for herself and go for a walk in the woods, you know, whatever that healing activity is for you. And there's not one selfish thing about it. It's self-love, it's self-healing. And I always notice she's surrounded by butterflies, right? So that does talk about transformation, the chrysalis to the butterfly, change. There's a need for you to transform. I think it is the energy you're exerting to other people. And again, as I was saying, what they're giving back to you. There's some form of trickery here or deceitfulness. And it's going to be different for all of you. It could be someone in your family dynamic. I was picking up on that. And this could also be manipulation too. Someone who's like playing the puppet master, pulling the strings, right? To get at you, Sagittarius, and it may be contributing to this anxiety that in the reverse, maybe you're not able to get out of it yet. Whoever this person is for you, if you know who I'm talking about, this exterior character who has less than kind motives, I'll say, move on. It's not selfish to leave this person behind because they're not contributing to your emotional health or your wellness, your mental health. You need to cut them off. All right, so let's see what your guidance is, Sagittarius. Cut them off, the Ace of Swords. That was perfect. I was thinking actually that you may get like the Queen of Swords coming up. It's the Ace of Swords. So new beginnings, new thoughts, new clarity, new truth, new logic, severing off what doesn't serve you. This is zombie tarot, right? Cut it off. Even the way he's holding a butcher's knife there, it's like this was coming up in your energy, Sagittarius. There's a big part of you that does just want to sever this off. And I said that earlier, and I said it with the caution of be careful that you're not just, it's like suffocating it, like pushing the emotions down so that you don't have to deal with it. There's a great word that's not going to come to me. Don't conceal it and hide it so that you don't have to look at how ugly and sad it makes you, right? There's something you don't want to deal with this. It means so much to you, but it's difficult. It's been a mental battle. Ultimately, you do need to heal the wounds, though. As painful as it is, it's like you need to take one sword out at a time from all those swords that have been stuck in your back and really examine, where did these swords come from? Who did this to me? Who made me feel that way? And it has nothing to do with seeking revenge. It has nothing to do with projecting outward. It's looking inward of, why did they make me feel this way? What was something that I can improve on so that if I come in contact with that kind of energy again, I can shield it off. I can cut it out immediately so that I don't have to suffer from other people's actions, from other people's words, from other people's insensitivity, from other people's head games. Someone is doing like some petty bullshit head games, and they've been doing it for a long time, Sagittarius. I want to punch them for you, whoever this is. Yeah. Ugh, it's heavy. So let's get a clarifier on this Ace of Swords, although I don't think we really need it, but we'll pull one for you. For Sagittarius, anything on the Ace of Swords? This is you winning the battle, by the way. Do you see how there's two hands here? There's the human hand that's one, right? And this decrepit zombie hand. I want to say from the past, right? This is something from the past that you've been carrying around with you. You got this. You can rip that sword out of this zombie's hand and take back your power, Sagittarius. That's important here, okay? Anything else for this Ace of Swords for Sagittarius? The King of Swords. Beautiful, right? I kind of just said that. It's the same thing. It comes down to the cold, hard facts of cutting out what doesn't serve you. And that's hard, especially when there are people in your life, especially if it's family or people who have been close allies, close friends. It could be like lifting that veil to reveal the truth that, you know what, you actually aren't that good of a person and you don't treat me well. So I'm done. I'm going to walk out. This is the card of Aquarius. Like, they don't play. And I love and respect Aquarians. I have a lot of Aquarian friends, and they're amazing people, and they have hearts of gold. That's the thing. I think sometimes they do get a bad rap for being kind of cold and detached. Sure, yeah, in a lower vibration sometimes, But they also have these really great, beautiful hearts. They care deeply about people, about friends. And the reason I'm saying that, the reason I'm focusing on that is I think this card represents you, Sagittarius. And it's almost like channel that Aquarian energy where it comes down to the logic, the swords, the fact versus fiction. Is it true? Is this person helpful to me? Are they hindering my my healing, my getting better? If not, slice it off. You don't need it. And what I was going to say is I think that might be hard for you initially, Sagittarius, to be a little bit cold-hearted towards people who you may in the past have had some sort of love or affection for. But if they are harming or hindering your growing, your healing, your transformation, right? This is all about transformation. Bring that sword down, okay? Cold, hard truth of the matter, what is going to serve you. This could also be protect yourself, Sagittarius. And I'm not saying this to put fear in your heart of you need to be suspicious or anxious about who's around you. Because here's the thing. I think you already are. I think you already know, Nine of Swords. There's someone around you that can't be trusted. I was saying, lift off the mask, reveal the truth. These people are both kind of wearing masks, right? I'm just going to leave it at that. Be strong in your power. Aces are beautiful. This is new beginnings. So whatever you're transforming out of, transforming into, blossoming, right? The butterfly, there's going to be freedom and empowerment and enlightenment. Okay? So keep moving, Sagittarius. Be careful who you're giving your time and your energy to. And invest in yourself. Because I don't think you're doing enough of that. Know your self-worth. Know your value. That's important here too. All right. Wrapping it up. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what we are doing is we are pulling an oracle card here on YouTube, and then I'm going to discuss it on the Instagram channel. So if this gave you enough clarity, enough insight, some sort of hope, that's fantastic. I will see you next week for some videos on career and finances and love. If you do want to check out this oracle card, I'm going to talk about it more with you on Instagram, but I'll give you a little teaser here. So Sagittarians have the gargoyle card. Very cool. All right, so join me on Instagram. I am the Intuitive Teacup. I will see you there. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me today, Sagittarians. I love you so much, and I'm sending you all the best during the Scorpio full moon. Please do like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.